How you doing, guys? Just waiting for Circuit to join in. Saw your progress pictures there, Aaron. Looking pretty lean. Not bad for a man with a backpack. Kaylee's been loving the backpack.
I'm gonna have to buy some weights at the rate this is going.
Yeah, it's a thing. You start selling them on Amazon or something like that, and then tell people to pack them with weights. How to create home weights. Backpack and dumbbells. All right, here's Circuit joining in now. Cool. All right.
Hi, how you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Good, thanks. How's everyone keeping? Everyone's in.
Going good. You're sitting in a new location today, a different part of the house.
I am. This is a room. I'm in my childhood house, and so it's just me in the house. So I thought I'd make one room kind of office-like. So
your home office.
Yeah.
Have you started doing your false commute to work as well? So go for a walk, pretend like you're working, like we were talking about the other week.
Yeah, I actually when you said that, I really started trying going in the evening. So finish my work and just going for a walk in the evening, and it does really help.
It does. It creates that pattern where you're finishing up work for the day, which is
cool.
Awesome. So I've got this on record now for anyone who can't make it in. I know there's a few more people joining in, but we'll kick off anyway. This is a book just kind of covers off a lot of the topics I mentioned the other week, the food-mood connection. It's really, really interesting book on gut health, the microbiome. And I have, before reading this, tested this stuff out on myself, what food I eat makes me feel a different way. I mean, the obvious example is anyone will know this if they eat you get a takeaway and it's super fried food. Your mood instantly changes 45 minutes to an hour afterwards. So that's a great thing to note. However, if you're eating small amounts of food that isn't helping your microbiome, your gut bacteria over a long period of time, it starts to really affect your mood and how you're feeling. So on the 28-day challenge, we do talk a lot about eating for, weight loss or muscle gain, which are the principles. But we want to take this a step further and look at how we can eat to be healthy, but to also increase our mood, which I think is really important right now because we're probably all feeling a bit stressed and stuff like that. And there's a lot of food we can eat to decrease stress. And the interesting thing about stress is if you're super stressed and you've got cortisol in your body, your immune system actually switches off or shuts down a little bit because stress is like fight or flight, and your immune system requires a huge amount of energy. So if you're constantly stressed all the time, your immune system isn't working at full capacity. And especially, right now, there's this thing going around. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but there's a pandemic going on. And if you catch that in a stressed mood, you're actually more likely to have worse symptoms, which is kind of what happened to me when I got it. I had it for about 2 weeks, was fine, just a bit of a head cold. Then I got super stressed. And bam, I was sick for 2 weeks because my immune system effectively shut down. The virus was able to take over. And there's a lot of research being done on this now. Anyway, it's not my show, it's your show, so I'll let you take over. You tell us all about eating healthy, gut health, microbiome, etc.
Yeah, of course. I'll start sharing my screen.
I'll let you share now as well. That will help. Now, there we go. We'll get Niall into the talk as well.
It's good to see that book there, Ronan, because there's not too... Well, I've been looking for books that surround gut health, but I haven't found loads, but I feel like they're starting to come out now.
Yeah, this is very good. It's actually written by a doctor who overcame cancer. And one of the key things that she did was change her diet. So now she treats patients, psychiatry patients, with a food first principle rather than a pills first. So rather than jumping on the antidepressant bandwagon, it's very much how can we change your diet to improve your mood? And some of the results that are written about in the book are fantastic. So definitely want to read The Food-Mood Connection.
Wow, yeah, I'll definitely look up that. Okay, so start sharing my screen.
All right, you able to share there? Is that working for you? Yeah, there it is. Cool.
You got it? Okay. Ooh, why isn't this? I'm trying to, here we go. Okay, so talk up for you guys. Yeah, so this week, so as you said, it's a bit different. We're going to be talking about the gut microbiome. So it's kind of more so eating for your gut rather than before we were talking a lot about increasing your protein, so eating to build muscle or maybe eating to lose weight, which this you'll see later, like this even relates to that. Um, So yeah, so first, like, what is the microbiome? So a microbiome refers to a community of organisms living together in a particular habitat. So a plant has a microbiome, even a building has a microbiome. And the human's microbiome consists of trillions of bacteria, viruses, and fungi. So your microbiomes exist mainly in your intestines and on your skin. And the microbes found in your intestines are found in the pocket of your large intestine called the cecum. I think it's cecum. I was trying to look up to see if I was pronouncing that right. I'm pretty sure it's cecum. And they're referred to as the gut microbiome. And these microbes weigh roughly about 1 to 2 kilograms. So that's about the weight of your brain, actually. And out of all the microbes, bacteria is the most studied. So in the last few years, there's been so much research going into this, but yeah, it is bacteria, which like the majority of the research is being done on. But I think they're saying like over the next 10 years, there's going to be so much research coming, more research like coming out about this. So yeah, just kind of what we know now, it's like just the minimum of like what there is to learn. So we have approximately 40 trillion bacterial cells and 30 trillion human cells. So we are more bacteria than we are human. So I keep hearing this a lot, and I think that's very interesting. And so we're made up of it's like we're made up of a little animal or something altogether.
It's crazy. It's like we only have something like 10%. I might have that percentage wrong, but 10% human cells in our body. The rest are the bacteria, the fungi, etc. So it's our thoughts that make us believe we're human, but we're actually a collection of multiple different bacteria with a little bit of human thrown in on top, a sprinkle of human on top.
Yeah, yeah, you're right though with the 10%. I saw that too, but it's crazy to hear.
Yeah.
So there are 1,000 species in the human gut, each carrying out different roles in the body, some being beneficial for our health and others potentially causing disease. So how does it affect the body, the gut microbiome? So as we age, the microbiome grows, and this affects the body in numerous ways. So you probably know when we're born, as we come through our mother's birth canal, we're kind of released to a certain amount of bacteria. And then like over time, our gut develops, and this helps with the digestion of food, helping control the immune system, the central nervous system, as well as many other bodily processes.
That point actually that you made there is really interesting. So I know a couple who they have 2 kids, and the first kid was born under a cesarean section, and had a lot of problems during the first 2.5 years of his life. And then the second child was a natural birth and was just absolutely fine, very chilled out. And this is actually, I started researching this a few years ago, and that's where I came into the idea that the bacteria that gets passed on for your mother during birth has a huge impact on your mood. And if you don't get the right bacteria, it can inhibit the formation of your microbiome and your gut. So in some countries where a child is born under cesarean section, the mother is actually swabbed, and that bacteria is then physically passed on to the child as if it had been a natural birth. So this is something, again, one of these new things that's coming up. Actually, in some countries, it's been around for years, but in Ireland, it's not something that's practiced, but it's in consideration. So you can see how that bacteria needs to be passed on from human to human to encourage your microbiome to form correctly and regulate your mood.
Yeah, I just heard that as well the other day, and even I think, do they like rub the placenta on the baby? I don't know if that's exactly
yeah, it's placenta, and then like vaginal swabs as well that get put onto the baby to ensure that the correct bacteria is passed on to the child.
Yeah, because and as well
they don't
sorry.
Yeah, they used they used to clean the child, like, you know, as soon as like the child would come out, they clean it. But
Yeah.
you'll notice now, like for some reason, I don't know why, but people like it. It's not my cup of tea, but they put pictures of their kid, like, you know, when it's like 3 seconds old, like straight out, like covered in blood. But they're now starting to leave the kids, you know, covered in the sort of the blood and the other matter for a period of time, because they believe it helps that bacteria to be passed on, rather than sterilizing and cleaning the kid, because they also believe it can help with the immune system, allowing that bacteria to be passed on while in the real world as opposed to the womb.
Yeah, yeah. And it is a good, and I think they were saying as well, they're finding kids that are, like, of course, like a cesarean is needed in a lot of cases. Like it kind of, sometimes it it has to happen, but they're finding kids who are born through cesarean, they have more allergies. And I when I heard that, I thought it was interesting, because all my family was born through C-section. Like my mom had a C-section, and both my sister has allergies, I have allergies. So it could be that, but maybe not.
It could, yeah, absolutely, definitely could be.
Yeah. So these are just some of the things that they're finding, like a good gut health, like some of its benefits. So they're seeing that it plays a role in promoting good HDL cholesterol and triglycerides, and reducing bad LDL cholesterol, as well as regulating blood sugar levels. So it plays a role in controlling blood sugar, and may also reduce the risk of developing type 1 or type 2 diabetes. I think they saw this a lot in children, especially. And brain health. So this is kind of what your book is talking about, Ronan. But there's so much studies being carried out showing the link between food and mood. So certain species of bacteria can help produce neurotransmitters. So serotonin, being one of them, is mostly produced in the gut. I was listening to an audiobook, and I think she said that 90% of serotonin is actually stored in the gut as well.
90% figure, yeah.
Yeah, so serotonin is the mood balancing hormone. And the gut is also physically connected to the brain through millions of nerves, and through these nerves, the gut helps to control messages that are being sent to the brain. Sorry, this says brain there. Yeah, so, and then gut dysbiosis. So this is when there's an imbalance of healthy and unhealthy microbes. So this can contribute to weight gain, digestive issues such as IBS and IBD, and then, as I said before, heart disease. So yeah, we're just seeing how it can really impact your health.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yes, these are just some things on how to improve your gut microbes. So consuming a varied diet. So consuming a varied diet, that's going to result in the diversity of your microbiome. Fermented foods, I think you guys have probably heard about this a lot. So yogurt, sauerkraut, kefir, and so they contain healthy bacteria that reduce the amount of disease. Artificial sweeteners. This is something I've keep hearing a lot recently as well, and there's big links shown to people who consume a lot of artificial sweeteners and anxiety. And I actually found this myself. I tried to decrease the amount of artificial sweeteners I was eating, and I don't know if it was the placebo effect, but I definitely felt a lot less anxious when I did try. So if you are kind of prone to anxiety, maybe try that out.
Yeah. Well, actually, so that's a really interesting point. So, you know, when we're doing, let's say, a 28-day challenge, the majority of people's goal is to, you know, burn body fat or build muscle. So we focus in on the principles to start. So, you know, obesity is a huge, epidemic, problem in the world. So we want to get people to understand the principles, and then slowly but surely they start to eat more healthy, like we're talking about now. And then diet drinks are the sort of things that can get cut out later. But for example, if I've got someone who maybe says they need to, drop 2 to 3 stone of body weight, and they're going to consume, a 0-calorie drink versus, a Coca-Cola with higher calories, their Coke Zero, I'll definitely encourage them to do that to start, so they achieve the initial results, and then start learning about the healthy eating and the gut health. Because I think it's, when some people try to do too much too soon, they give up. But if we
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
look at the principles first and then now we're learning the principles of actually healthy eating and gut health. So if you're listening to this now and you are consuming sweeteners in your diet, don't feel like you need to cut them out straight away, but just start considering your choices. Achieve, the aim, the objective goal number one, if it's to burn body fat, and then start to look at these principles once you've got the first one down and introduce them into the diet. I think that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, exactly. And it gets you used to, the way if you're consuming a lot of sugar, you're running off those sugar highs. And so changing to sweeteners first, you can kind of stabilize your blood sugar levels. And then, and then it's a lot about changing your taste buds too, I think. Like I know sweeteners are like, they can be even sweetener than sugar itself, but once you cut out sugar and then, try change a few things and then go back again. So some other things are prebiotics. So prebiotics are artichokes, banana, asparagus, oats, also apples. And so they're a type of fiber that stimulates the growth of healthy bacteria. Polyphenols, which is green tea, dark chocolate, olive oil, red wine is also high in polyphenols. And these are broken down by the microbiome to stimulate healthy bacterial growth. And then probiotics, which I've included an example here. This is just a brand I like called OptiBac. They also do, this is just the original standard one, I think. But they also do one that's higher in strength, and they have a woman's one as well. And I think they might have one for kids too. But I think they're a great brand. You can get them in most health food stores. But they're just live bacteria that can help restore the gut to a healthy state after dysbiosis. So especially if you're taking, another point here is try not to take antibiotics all the time, only when necessary, because when you're taking antibiotics, you're basically killing not only the bad bacteria, but the good bacteria as well. So after you've done a course of antibiotics, it is important to take some probiotics again, just to kind of bring your gut back to a good state and balance again.
Yeah, actually, an interesting little one just on the prebiotics, because this is something people don't know. It's good to combine a prebiotic with a probiotic, because the prebiotic by itself, let's say you have a banana, or all your diet is just bananas, that's all you're eating. Your body can't really break down that banana effectively without the probiotic. But if you have a banana and then have a probiotic with us, and I'll give you an example. This is something I did years ago, and I didn't even realize I was doing it. This is really before I got into the health and fitness space. I just finished university. I was working, in a job in Dublin. And before work, I was like, when I was a kid, I used to have like cereal or white toast with butter for breakfast. Terrible stuff. But I started having just a banana and an Actimel. So banana being the prebiotic and an Actimel being the probiotic. I had no idea what I was doing. It was just like convenient food. But I really noticed after a couple of weeks a change in my mood. I remember saying this back in whenever that was, 2004, 2005. I was like, Jesus, I feel totally different from doing this. And in subsequent years of research, I realized that now what I tend to do is overnight oats. So I'll have some oats with bananas. I'll put in some, if I want to reduce my calories, I might use like some almond milk. And then I'll add in some natural yogurt and some blueberries. So I've got a mix of a prebiotic and a probiotic. The other thing I do for protein shakes as well is, rather than go for milk or water with my protein shake, I get my protein powder and mix it with natural yogurt, which is a probiotic, and some blueberries as well. And that helps me get high protein, but also eat for my gut at the same time. There you go. A couple of tips.
And it's kind of like, I notice I love yogurt, and I think it's whenever I eat it, like, do you know when they hear that, you hear like when you have a happy tummy, it does something to you. It just feels like it's working when you eat it already.
Yeah.
But I think, yes, it was just quite a short presentation I had put together. But if there's any questions, or if there's anything you want kind of clarification on, or
yeah, hit us up, because it's such a huge topic that it's hard to cover off so much, just in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
The probiotic, prebiotic thing is like one of the biggest takeaways I've done for this. What I encourage people to do is actually test food and mood. So eat certain foods and see how you feel. Like, for example, I know if I eat pizza, which is one of my favorite foods, I feel great. for a period, and then afterwards I'll definitely get a massive slump, especially if I eat like a lot of that in the same day. So like I've tried this. I also find if I eat certain vegetables, my mood isn't great and my microbiome isn't great. I swell up. For me, it's actually a higher protein diet works perfectly. For other people, higher vegetable diets works perfectly. So you kind of got to test it out. You got to test the foods over the years to see what works for you.
Yeah, because we're all going to be so, like, our gut's going to be so different to each other. So it's really what someone else eats. I think this is another way sometimes you see people saying, I eat like this and I feel great and this has made me so fit, but then someone else might try adapt that diet and they don't feel great. So it's really trying to test what foods make you feel iffy and what foods make you feel like the happy tummy thing I was saying again. But yeah, it's going to change over time. So if you eat something, it doesn't make you feel great for a period, maybe in a couple of months or so, you could be okay. So it's just trying to be more aware of it.
Yeah, for sure. So question from Aaron, who's the author of the book? It's Uma Naidu is the author of the book. You got that right, Aaron. What foods causes stomach bloating? So that is actually a really good question from Sheila there. Do you have any examples of certain foods, or even Sheila, if you have certain foods that you've tried before that cause bloating, it'd be great if you could share them in the group. So anything that you
pizza,
found
definitely.
Sorry, go on.
Sorry, pizza, definitely. For me, pizza, pasta, and bread. So I've kind of pretty much eliminated eating pizza and pasta, just to see if it'll work, but I'm still bloated though, I just cannot get rid of it.
Do you get like a pain in your stomach as well, or is it more so just bloating? Or just
bloating. Yeah. And I do, like, I work out like 3-4 times a week and do sit-ups and everything, and I take digestive enzymes as well, just to kind of break down the food that I'm eating, so.
And has it gone away? Like, say if you don't eat the pizza, pasta, or bread, has it gone down a bit, or is it still there?
It goes down slowly, it goes down a little bit, but it's still there. Like, I still look about 8 months pregnant.
It could be. I'm like that. I get very bloated easily too, and like I do look pregnant most of the time but it is for me. I know. See, it could be. I don't know. Do you eat other foods with like say gluten in them? It mightn't be gluten, but that could be one thing.
Well, I eat rice and potatoes, and I've introduced corn lately.
Okay.
Quinoa. Sorry, quinoa.
Quinoa. They would be gluten free. Rice, quinoa, and those. So yeah, I was going to say you could try gluten, or even it could be even something else. Sometimes people can be sensitive to like highly processed food. So like pizza, bread, they would be processed food. So even if there's other foods in your diet that you're eating that are quite high processed, or
I eat a pretty good diet. Like, I follow a Slim World diet mainly, and I've increased my protein intake since I started the 28-day challenge.
Okay. And maybe what you could do is if you kind of kept like a food journal, and just when you're more bloated, write down like if you're writing down what you are in a day, and then just keep track of when you're most bloated. And you could try, I know even like for some people, cruciferous vegetables, that would be like broccoli, cauliflower and stuff, that can cause bloating in them. So I recommend food diary.
I get that with certain vegetables, Sheila, where like it just blows me up, like my stomach. I look like I was pregnant. I don't know how that happened, but like literally just go out to there. It gets really, really big with certain vegetables. What I've found personally works for me is mostly sticking to green vegetables and protein, which is ideal for, I suppose, building muscle, gut health, all that sort of stuff as well. But it's a bit of trial and error. And it could be just one or two little things that you're eating. I think you've identified some of them. Like that for me, the pizza thing is like, I'll do it and I'll bloat, but like, pizza's delicious, so you got to do that.
Yeah, I know.
The other thing I would try is I made and I still eat white bread, like a slice of Brennan's bread with a bit of toast on a Saturday. It's delicious, but where possible, I will try and have sourdough bread because it's a super high protein, and the way it's produced is one of the oldest sort of ways of producing bread. I don't have any negative effects personally from eating sourdough, and I think it's absolutely delicious when it's sliced. Dairy is another thing that I notice people get bloated with sometimes as well. So again, that's a bit of trial and error, because there is dairy in a lot of products we don't realize that we're eating. So it's like you're saying, to actually keep a food journal, and then on the days you're bloated, see if there's a pattern. And you're doing that anyway with your food diary for the 28-day challenge. So you could go back and sort of see, well, actually this Wednesday I was bloated. What did I have that day? And then that Friday I was bloated, and you might see a connection. That's the sort of trial and error way to do it, is the only way. I haven't officially done it, but I know from, being aware of this for years, what I can eat and what I can't eat. And one thing I've learned is it definitely doesn't stop me eating the stuff I want to eat. I still do it regardless of the side effects. But if you're feeling bad about it, this is a way to test it.
Yeah, it's even good, just like, as you said, like sometimes, when you don't know something, not that it drives you crazy, but you just want to know what it is. And once you've identified what it is, at least you're like, oh, that's the reason why. Or even, do you drink a lot of carbonated?
I drink Diet Coke every day.
Oh, that could be something as well. Just drink, like, I know if I drink even sparkling water, I bloat up a bit. And then the sweeteners and that can have a kind of
that actually, based on this book here and what we're talking about today, it could actually be the sweeteners within the diet drinks that are causing a reaction with the bacteria in the gut to bloat up. That's literally, this book talks about this so much, the sweeteners, the food mood connection that I mentioned. Those sweeteners could have that effect, because it's doing a negative thing to the bacteria. And if you think of the fermentation process, like if you're brewing beer, for example, this is what's going on in your gut. So when you ferment something, it starts to fizz up and boil up almost. That could be happening in the gut when things are reacting a certain way. And in your case, Sheila, it could be the diet drinks. Now, obviously, from a calorie perspective, like we said, they're brilliant. They're really helping you achieve your goals. And I can see from your progress pictures, and even see when you're at the classes, like your body shape has changed a lot, so you're definitely making progress. But it could be those sweeteners. So now could be the time not to eliminate, but reduce and test and see if that works for you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
No worries. Any other questions there? What have we got? It's a big topic. It is a big topic. I definitely would recommend that book. I'll send a link around to purchase it on Amazon. I don't make any commissions or anything like that from this book. I just got given it as a gift, and it was very interesting. Nice one. All right. Well, if there's no other questions, guys, we really appreciate you jumping on. I will send the recording of the video around to the group as well, in case you want to watch it back. And if you do have any questions, pop them in your food diaries. Reviews will start from today onwards, or shoot us a message directly. Lovely stuff, guys. Thanks for joining in. Have a great day, and we'll chat to you guys later.
Bye, guys. Have a good one.